back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another book haul. I've done it again. Every time I say, I'm gonna do better, I'm never better. It's a sickness and there's no cure and I might as well just accept it. I am who I am and I'm a book collector. Okay, so let's talk about all the books that I brought into my home in the last few months. Special editions, some of them were gifted, some of them not. Let's get into it because we're going to be here for a while. Okay, let's talk about the smallest section first, and that is the miscellaneous category, just books that don't quite fall into romance or fantasy, because that is generally what I tend to read most days. So the first one I have here is The Only One Left by Riley Sager, his newest release. I only picked this one up because it was part of the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I'm reading it for a video. I don't tend to pick up a lot of mystery thrillers just because I don't tend to keep them. I found myself enjoying thrillers and liking what I read, but I just don't tend to keep them on an everyday basis. So I will read this one just because it's part of that video, but I don't intend to keep it. I will just donate it back to a library or the bookstore that I tend to take all of my special editions to. So I have two books by the same author. One is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas and Vampires of El Norte by the same author. I picked this one up for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and this one I got like pretty inexpensive at my used bookstore, and I wanted to give this author a try, so I did pick it up. I have points when I go to my used bookstore, so when I get them, I'm like, you know, I'm saving money. Girl math, right? Girl math. But I did want to read Vampires of El Norte for the horror section for the Goodreads Choice Awards, so I did pick that one up. Oh, and I'm not going to be doing synopsis unless I absolutely know it, because we're going to be here for a while. Up next, we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I picked this one up as well for the Goodreads Choice Awards video that I'm working on, and this one follows a girl names June Hayward, who steals Athena Liu's unpublished manuscript after she dies in a freak accident, and she is a white author who publishes this book about the Chinese labor camp in World War I under a racially ambiguous pen name, and then it's about her as she continues to steal this author's work and how it goes for her. It's a very interesting story. I will be very happy to share my thoughts in that video coming up soon, but I'm glad that I picked this one up. The last book that I picked up for that video that is in the miscellaneous category is The Collected Regrets of Clover, my goodness, by Mickey Bramer. This is a literary fiction that follows a girl named Clover who has been surrounded by death ever since she was a young girl when she watched her teacher fall down and die. And after the passing of someone very important in her life, she decides to become a death doula, and she spends so much time interacting and being around people that are dying that she forgets to learn how to live. And it's a story of her figuring out how to live her life and fall in love and make friends, and it was very beautiful. Again, video will be coming very, very soon, but I am glad that I picked this one up as well. And then the last book in the miscellaneous category is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I have never read a Grady Hendrix book before, but I did pick this up because it was the book club pick for October for my in-person book club, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. It follows housewives in the 1980s into the 90s as they, you know, build this book club and then get terrorized by a vampire that tries to infiltrate the book club. It was very interesting. If you like horror, but kind of like goofy horror, but also kind of like gross and disturbing and like body horror, you might like this one. I enjoyed it. I don't see myself picking up more Grady Hendrix books from my shelves. Like, I don't plan on keeping this one, but I'm glad that I read it. Let's go ahead and tackle romance. Let's just do romance because I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I just feel like I'm going to get through it faster, and then we'll jump into the fantasies. So let's talk about the special editions that I got in the romance category, because this is a smaller section than just my regular romance. The first one that I have here is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is a Fairy Loot edition of this book, and it is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. I'm literally obsessed with it. I'm so glad I was able to snag myself a copy because it's everything that I could have wanted for this book and more. It is also signed by the author. This one follows, I want to call her Daisy. That's not her name. Her name is Naomi, and she ends up coming to this small town where her sister is living because she has just went away from her very lavish wedding to a man that she doesn't want to be with, and she goes to save her sister because she calls saying that she is in terrible peril and needs help. But when she gets there, her sister has disappeared, stolen all her stuff, and left her child for her twin sister Naomi to take care of. And she is in this town where people hate her because they associate her with her twin sister, and it is a romance between her and a man named Knox, who is like the town grump, and they have a very cute relationship. It is small town, it is kind of single parent, it is grumpy sunshine, it's also fake dating. So I love this book so much. I'm so glad that I was able to snag the special edition because it's absolutely stunning. I also picked up the next two books in the Devil's Night series that were done by Mystic Box just to make sure that I had a complete and matching set. So I have Nightfall and then the two little novellas, Conclave and Fire Night. So if you don't know what this is about, the first book, Corrupt, is a dark romance following guys who every year on Halloween go out on Devil's Night and wreak havoc around the town. And one day they get caught and sent to jail, and the first book follows Rika and Michael as they have a kind of like second chance revenge story romance. Take that as you will. I didn't really love the first book upon a reread, but I did enjoy the second book, but I'm very, very nervous for book 3. Speaking of Mystic Box, my Mystic Box for this month was Tate James, which you guys know I'm a huge fan. So I have Heist and Forgery by Tate James, the first and second book in the I can't say this word. Valinesque Legacy. Oh my god, I probably butchered that, but they are absolutely stunning. So freaking beautiful. I love these editions. I am bummed that I did this series because I was hoping that they would do the Guild series, and especially because it's a 3-book series and they are only putting out the 2 books in the series. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a matching set to, you know, complete my special editions, but I do love having some signed Tate James books in my collection, so I'm definitely not going to complain, but I'm just really glad that I was able to snag these. And then for the Belle box, for the last couple of months, I got the Jennifer Hartman box, which consists of an optimist guide to heartbreak and an pessimist guide to love. This is a duology. One perspective follows the girl and the other perspective follows the guy in each book, and it's like a sad duology. I really enjoyed book 1. I'm not going to try to explain it because I will butcher it, but I am excited to finally get around to the second book in this duology. I honestly cannot remember if I've already hauled this, but this is my last and final Afterlight book that I got in the Owlcrate subscription. I did cancel my subscription, but this is Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. I just wasn't picking them up, not because they aren't gorgeous special editions, because I mean, look at that, but I just wasn't prioritizing them, so I decided to let those ones go. But yeah, this is a female soccer romance. I'm down. It sounds like a good time. I have heard good things about it so far, so I'm really excited. On the back says, doing well in camp is more important than kissing pretty girls. Well, both are important. Soccer and kissing girls are Penelope's 2 favorite things, but she's not focused on girls right now. She's focused on making the roster. So we shall see. Sounds cute. And the last special editions that I have for the romance category are more Tate James books. I was able to snag the box from Dark and Disturbed. They did a special edition box of the the Hades series by Tate James. I almost wanted to call it Hate, but that is Madison K series. So we have the first book, which is Seventh Circle. These are beautiful paperbacks. Second book is Anarchy. I really love these. These aren't my usual style, but something about them really speaks to me. We have Club 22 for book 3, and then Timber for book 4. And I'm glad that I have them. These are electronically signed by the author, so I will take any Tate James that the world is willing to give me, because honestly, I need more. And those are really heavy to hold up. But if you don't know anything about the Hades or Madison Kate series, they are both Why Choose mafia romances set in a dark mafia world. This is the second series that is written in that world, but you can read them separately. Hades is definitely my favorite series that Tate James has written, and my favorite series in that world. So if you're looking for a Tate James recommendation from me, I love that one. Okay, let's just jump into regular romances. There's 2 large stacks, so let's get into it. Up first, we have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison, the 3rd and final book in the Love Light Farms series, or Love Light series. And this was gifted to me by Dana. So thank you so much, Dana. I'm very excited to read this one and finish up this series relatively soon. I loved book 1 and book 2, so I'm very excited for book 3. And from what I can remember, Nikki said that Mixed Signals is her favorite, and I have loved and given 5 stars to both of the books in this series so far, so I'm really pumped to see what I think about this one. I don't know what the book is about. I know it's small town. Other than that, I'm not too knowledgeable on the synopsis, but I am very excited for it. Dana was feeling very generous, and she also gifted me Hawk by Jessie Hall. I do have a few more Jessie Hall books on my TBR, and I'm very excited to get to this one. I've heard really good things about Hawk and Kid. It's a duology, I'm pretty sure, and I'm really curious to see what I think of this one. It's definitely dark, kind of like That Sick Love, but I know she has some other books that are not as dark, so I'm curious to see what I'm going to think of this one and if I'm going to like it just as much. Then I picked up Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ricci, the 2nd book in the Addicted series. I didn't love book 1 in the series, but I definitely wanted to continue on. I'm curious to see where this friends to lovers romance is going to go. It is actually on my TBR for the month of December, so hopefully I love it. This one follows Lily and Lo, and Lily is addicted to sex and Lo is addicted to booze, and they use their very tight friendship to be a cover for a relationship while they enable each other's addictions. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to think of book 2, seeing as book 1 ended off with a lot of questions. Then I picked up Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood, her newest release. I was going to pick this one up anyways, but I did pick it up specifically for the Goodreads Choice Awards video, and I am really excited to get to this one. I've heard really good things about her YA debut. This one follows two very important chess people. I don't know. Honestly, I have started this one and I still can't quite understand the synopsis. I know it is YA. It's like actually reading more new adult than YA, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm only like 12 chapters in. So hopefully I end up liking that. Did I say 12 chapters? I meant 12%. Oh my god. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to think of this one, and hopefully I like it just as much as her adult books. Then I also picked up Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This is an absolutely unhinged, crazy romance. It follows two serial killers who every year they go out on a game to track down and hunt other serial killers, and in that time they create a relationship and fall in love. Check the trigger warnings on this one, because when I say unhinged, I mean unhinged, and I don't mean that in the haha fun unhinged way. I mean like it's really unhinged, but it's also one of the most hilarious books I've read in a really long time, with an absolutely swinging romance at the center. And overall, it's a fantastic read. It's one of my favorites of the year. 5 stars, but unhinged to say the least. Then I have questions, because I received this one in the mail and I have no idea where it came from. I didn't order it. My friends didn't gift it to me. So if one of you guys sent this to me, thank you. And please let me know who it was, because I have no idea. But somebody sent me Holiday Hoops by Kennedy Ryan. This is the last book that I needed to complete my series of the Hoops series. It is just maybe it's actually just one short novella that follow the characters that were in the Hoops series, or like one of the side characters. I'm not sure, but it is obviously a holiday romance. It's about Mackenzie Decker. Oh, Decker and Avery. I definitely have questions. I think that Decker and Avery were part of the shorts series as well. So I'm curious. I have no idea really, but it's Kennedy Ryan, so I'm going to read it, obviously. Then I have an Elsie Silver series. The series is being traditionally published, so I wanted to get the self-published versions to match all the rest of my self-published versions that I have of her books. So we have I don't even know what the series is called, the Gold Rush Ranch series. So we have a photo finish. These are out of order, so I apologize. The Front Runner. A False Start is the next one that I have. We have Off to the Races, and then the novella Out of the Gate. So all of those ones, I need to read these ones. I was thinking about maybe doing a vlog where I read the entire series, so let me know if you're interested in that. This one is not as popular as her Chestnut Spring series, but I've heard really great things, so I'm excited to give these a go. Up next, we have the traditionally published book for Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This book has gotten all of the hype, and I am very excited to give these ones a go. I've heard really good things. Also, the flop on this book is impeccable. It's also like that beautiful like matte finish that a lot of self-published books are doing, so I'm glad that they kept that for the new traditionally published. It is published by Bloom Young Adult. I didn't know this was young adult. I'm a little disturbed by that, because I thought this was adult. I hope I like it. I've heard really good things though. Like everybody loves this, so I'm really curious to see what I'm going to think. I don't know anything about it. I think it's maybe rugby? I don't know. I'm confused, but I've heard good things, so I want to give it a go. Then I picked up 2 books in a series, and I'm kind of bummed about these books, honestly. Brittany C. Cherry didn't really say anything that these books were going out of print, and I wanted to have a complete series because I do own 2 of the other books that I bought self-published, so I picked up the other 2 books secondhand off of eBay, and they are not in the best condition, but I did get The Fire Between High and Low, I think the second book in the Element series, and then The Gravity of Us, which I believe is the 4th or 3rd book in the Gravity series. I think this is the fourth book in the Element series, but as you can see, they are a little worse for wear. Not the best conditions, but I'm happy to have them. I'm just kind of bummed that they weren't better taken care of, but hopefully I can like put them on my shelves and straighten them out, and they won't look as used and abused. I know it shouldn't be that big of a deal, books are books, but I personally like to have my bookshelves and my books look like nobody touched them. So these ones definitely don't look like that, but I'm glad to have finished up my collection and have the self-published versions on my shelves. I also decided to pick up the Molly Doyle series that I have read because the covers were getting changed and I wanted to have the original covers. So I do have the 2 novellas. So we have Scream for Us and Melt for Us, as well as Bloodshed. I don't know if Bloodshed is actually getting another cover because I feel like this one matches the new Scream for Us covers, whereas these 2 do not, but I am really glad to have gotten all of them. The Scream for Us novella takes place at Halloween. Melt for Us takes place during the holidays, and then Bloodshed is kind of like a bridge book between these two, I'm sorry. So I'm excited to have these ones on my shelves. I have read all 3 of them, really enjoyed them, and I'm excited to read more from Molly Doyle in the future. Then we have King of Greed by Anna Huang, the 3rd book in the Kings of Sin series. I have been keeping up with the series, and I definitely wanted the books with the really beautiful spines, so I did pick up book 3. This one follows Dominic and Alessandra. It is a second chance marriage and trouble romance. After Dominic misses their 10-year anniversary trip, Alessandra decides that she wants to file for divorce, and it is a story of Dominic groveling his way back into the love of his life. It was really good. I'm very happy that I read it, and I'm very excited for book 4. Continuing the Elsie Silver train, I did pick up Hopeless by Elsie Silver, the last and final book in the Chestnut Spring series. I loved this book so much. I thought it was beautiful. We have been waiting for Beau's story for very, very long time, and I'm glad that she did Beau such good justice. This follows Beau and Bailey. It is a fake dating romance with a very tortured hero, and definitely kind of like a tortured heroine as well. She has had some pretty horrible things happening in her past, and she's very bullied. She's kind of like the town outlier, and Beau just kind of sweeps in and wants to take care of her. It's a beautiful romance between the 2 of them. If you take none of my other recommendations, please read the Chestnut Spring series. It is so good. It is so great. Spicy, but it's so good and so heartfelt. So I'm so glad to have read this one and have it on my shelves. I'm just sad that the series is coming to an end. I've had these books on my shelves for a little while, but I'm just coming to the realization that not all of them are the same. That's weird. Okay, well, I have the Eden series by Debney Perry, but I'm realizing right now both Indigo Ridge and Juniper Hill are not matte for some strange reason. We have the new book, Sable Peak, which is also not matte and has a different spine, but we don't have to talk about that. And then we have the rest of the books in the series that are all matte and don't match the other ones for some odd reason. But we have Jasper Vale, which is the 3rd book, Crimson River, which is the 5th book, I believe, Garnet Flats, which is the 4th book, and then the 2 novellas. We have Christmas in Quincy and the Eden's Legacy story. So I do love this series very much. It's a small town romantic suspense series that is very, very good. I have loved everything that I've read in the series so far. I am up to Garnet Flats, the 3rd full-length novel in the series, and I just need to continue on. I've heard nothing but great things about how the series continues, so I'm very curious to see what I'm going to think of it, but I did want to get the self-published editions because the traditional published editions are coming out soon, except for they gypped us with the last book. The US editions were not supposed to change, but somehow we got duped. So it's fine, but it's not, but it's fine. Up next, we have Quarterback Sneak by Candy Steiner. This is the 2nd book in this series. I don't really know. I did read Blindside and really, really loved it. Maybe this is the 3rd book. I honestly don't know. I saw it at Barnes & Noble. I wanted to have it. I wish that they sold the man covers more readily available, not just on Amazon, but this is what was at Barnes & Noble, so I think that if I pick up the remainder of the series, it will be in the discreet editions. Hopefully before it gets picked up, because everybody and their mother is getting picked up, which is great for them. But stop changing the covers, man. Just please. But I don't know anything about this. I do know that it's football. It's college. I want to read it. Hopefully I love it. Then we have A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. I don't know anything about it. It's just like a fun monster romance. So hopefully I can get to this soon. I decided to pick up another Mariana because I didn't have an unread Mariana on my shelves, and I like to keep one on hand at all times. And that is Under Lock. This is an F1 romance, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. No, it literally has a motorcycle on the front, so it's not F1. Get it together, girl. It is a motorcycle romance, maybe. I don't know. I want to read it. Slow burn, Mariana. I'm bound to love it. I picked up some more Sophie Larks. We have Minx by Sophie Lark and Grimstone, her newest releases. I'm very excited for both. This is kind of like maybe a gothic fantasy. I don't really know. And then Minx, I honestly have no idea. It's Sophie Lark, so I bought it. I did finish up my collection of the Windy City series by Liz Tomford with Caught Up, the newest release in this series, and I'm very excited to get to it. I'm sad I haven't already read it. This one follows Kai. It is a baseball romance where he falls in love with his nanny slash chef. So I'm very excited for this. It's single dad. I love single dad. I love sports romances, and I'm very excited for this one. My butt is falling asleep. My foots are falling asleep. My foots. Thank you. Oh, for that English. Okay, and then I picked up more Tate James, the discreet covers for her Valkanesh, I don't know how to say it, I'm so sorry, series, legacy series. So we have Heist, which is the 1st book, Forgery, which is the 2nd book, and Restoration, which is the 3rd and final book in this trilogy. The original paperbacks have not come out yet, so I don't have a matching one for that, but once that comes out, I will buy it. I'm patiently awaiting and checking Amazon every day, so not so patiently awaiting the last and final book to come out in the self-published editions. Then we have The Canary Cowards by Jessie Hall. This is a football romance. I did start this one. I didn't want to read it physically without an audiobook, so I put it down, but I'm excited to pick this one back up again and hopefully like it a little bit more than, you know, how I was enjoying it my first time around, but I didn't really give it a fair shot, so we shall see. I'm excited to get back to this one once the audiobook graces us with its presence. Love redesigned. Don't ask me why I bought this. Have I read my other Lauren Asher book that I own? No. But I'll get to it eventually. I don't know what it's about. I think it's like home flipping, home designing. I don't know. But hopefully I like it. One of my newest prized possessions, I have Madam by Sarah Kate, the last and final book in the Salacious Players Club series. And I was terrified that I wasn't going to get this cover because look at it. Feast your eyes on the glory of this cover. It's stunning. I love these editions, the self-published ones. I mean, the traditional published ones, absolutely not. Oh, no. But these ones, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad I finally have this one. This one follows Eden. We have watched her, you know, through most of the series, and I'm very excited to see how her story is going to come together. I think her name is Eden. It's been a while since I picked up one of these books, so we shall see. But I'm excited to get to it. All right, the last of the romance, and then we're going to get into the fantasy. Just when I thought I was almost done. We have Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert, the 5th book in the Neon Gods, what is this, Dark Olympus series. I need to read the book before this so I can catch up, but I am really excited to get to this one. This is a Aphrodite and Hephaestus? I don't know how to say that, but it's a retelling. A dark, spicy retelling. I also picked up Offside and Shut Out by Avery Keelan. I believe that Avery Keelan got picked up by Bloom or somebody, and I wanted to get the self-published editions before they were no longer available. I do love the man covers. I think they're gorgeous, and I'm very excited to have these ones on my shelf. I have read Offside. I just need to pick up Shut Out. And the last romance that I have is The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. I'm in love with this cover, and again, it got changed because Lucy Score is now traditionally published. It is the Bloom edition, but it is not the ugly Bloom edition. So I'm glad that I was able to get my hands on this cover. All right, let's jump into the fantasies. I have a lot of them. So let's talk about regular fantasies, and then we'll get into all of my special editions. First, this is not fantasy, but it's the only one in this section, so I'm going to keep it here. This is Golden Sun, the 2nd book in the Red Rising saga. I really enjoyed book 1, so I definitely wanted to pick up book 2. I was hoping to have read it already because I have forgotten a lot of the details of book 1, but alas, here we are. I also have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I picked this up for my book club's book of the month. I did not finish it because I got sick and I didn't get a chance to pick it back up. So I am excited to get around to this one. I just read The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to get back to this one and hopefully enjoy it just as much the second time as I did the first time. Oh, it's been a while since I filmed and it is showing. Then I picked up Bone Shops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. It does have deckled edges, and I don't really love deckled edges, but my first book in this series has deckled edges. I picked up the Barnes & Noble exclusive of that one, so I wanted them to match. So I did pick up book 2. Even though I haven't read book 1. It's fine. Then we have The Toll. Again, not fantasy, but I didn't have a lot of sci-fi to show off. But I did pick this one up because when I went in, a new Barnes & Noble had just opened up by me. And on, what is it? Not release day. Opening day. Neil Shusterman was there signing books. So I decided to pick this one up because it was the last and final book in the series that I didn't already own. So eventually, I'll get around to reading book 3. Who knows when, but... The heaviest book I own, Mother of Dawn and Death and Dawn by Krista Broadbent, the 3rd and final book in the War of Lost Hearts series. This book is literally 30 pounds. I'm not kidding you. It's so heavy. I don't know what they used to make this thing, but Jesus Louises. I really enjoyed book 1. I had a great time with it. I definitely need to continue on to book 2 and book 3 eventually. This cover is also absolutely stunning, and I bought the hardcovers because it just doesn't get better than that. It's just so good. I don't know if that's a printing error, but it's good, and I love it, and I'm happy to have this edition in my hands. All right, then we have some Katie Wismer books. I do have Ruthless Ends in both hardcover and paperback. I have bought everything in the series in both hardcover and paperback, so I needed to have these ones on my shelves. This is the last and final book in the Marionette series, and I'm very excited to get around to the end of the series. I still need to read book 3, but we don't have to talk about that. And the last regular book that we're going to talk about is Powerless by Lauren Roberts, the 1st book in the Powerless trilogy. And I'm very excited that I read this one. It was so good. It was so good. Everybody and their mother has been talking about it, so I definitely knew I needed to pick it up. And I'm glad that I did because it was amazing and I need book 2 like yesterday. All right, let's jump into special editions because we're going to be here for another 45 minutes. We have After the Forest by Kel Woods. It is a really beautiful Illumicrate edition. It's stunning. I love a good stenciled and sprayed edge. I don't know anything about it, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm excited to get around to my special editions soon. Who knows when, but soon. Up next, we have the Fragile Threads of Power. This is an Owlcrate edition. Again, another absolutely stunning edition. I'm really glad that I was able to snag this one up. I didn't really care for any of the other editions of the Fragile Threads of Power, so I'm glad that Owlcrate did an absolutely stunning edition. And underneath the dust jacket is also very pretty. I don't know really too much about the synopsis. I tried not to read it because I have not finished the original trilogy yet, so I'm kind of keeping myself in the dark about this one. Speaking of Owlcrate, we do have This Dark Descent by Kaylanisimplyme. Josephson? That was hard. Again, I don't know too much about it, but it is stunning. Will it focus? Who knows? It is stunning. These special editions. All of my thoughts are, oh my god, it's so pretty. When will I read it? Who knows? But gotta love it. Gotta love it. I don't know anything about this one. On the back it says, promise me you will be fearless. So I think it's gorgeous. Hopefully the inside is as good as the outside. Up next I have a duplicate, and that is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I don't like this edition. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I don't think it's that pretty, but you know, hey, fight me on it. I do love the centered edges though. I think that is gorgeous. I'm not a huge fan of that cover, but I do like the art on here. It is really, really pretty. Very pretty. But again, not my favorite edition. I do really enjoy the Owlcrate edition though. This one is beautiful. Everything that I could have wanted about this cover and more. The stenciled edges are great. The art is great. I'm just really excited to get back to this. I did start it. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm excited to give Cassandra Clare's adult debut a go. Up next, we have If I Have to Be Haunted. This is by Miranda Sun. I didn't know anything about this one, but again, absolutely stunning. Stenciled edges. This is a Fairy Loot edition. I have a note from the author in there. Again, it's just really pretty. Do I know what it's about? No. Will I try to get to it soon? Sure. Let's talk about it. Okay, you guys know, I don't need any more Sarah J. Maas stuff, but I just feel like I had to have a complete collection, and it didn't feel complete without this beauty. I didn't pay that much money for it. Actually, I used my Pango bucks because I had sold some books on Pango, and this was just sitting there waiting for me to grab it. So I did pick up the UK original sprayed edge edition of House of Earth and Blood, the first book in the Crescent City series, to add to my Sarah J. Maas shrine. Speaking of books I didn't need any more editions of, I did pick up the holiday edition of Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, the one that was released the same day as Iron Flame. And yeah, it's just Fourth Wing, just a black sprayed edge edition to match Iron Flame's black sprayed edge edition. Wow, the tongue twisters are tongue twistering today, and I'm tired. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, the second book in the Fourth Wing series. I have a whole video up about Iron Flame if you would like to go watch it. I will leave it in the cards above. But yeah, I'm glad that they have a matching set. I needed it, and I bought it. Sorry if the angle changed, I just knocked the tripod. I talked about Katie Wismer a little while ago. I do have more books to share. These are the full hardcover set, but I got the sprayed edges edition from the Kickstarter, so there's that. These are custom sprayed edge, so they don't look like perfect, but I think that it's really cool that she did these herself. So I'm really excited to have these on my shelves. I love the purple one. It's kind of like an outlier of the other ones, but the purple one, I don't know, it does something to my soul. But I wanted to have a full matching set of the sprayed edge edition, so there it is. All right, I have a few Owlcrate Junior books. I'm going to keep this brief because they are still in the wrapping and it's going to be very blinding with my ring light on. But we have Raylan Man in the Company of Monsters by Shannon Smart. Then I have Galaxy Jones and the Space Pirates by Brianna McDonald. And then finally, The Spirit Glass by Rachani Chokshi. So I'm excited to get to those ones. I'm really going to prioritize reading more middle grades in 2024, so those definitely going to be high on my list for next year. Up next, we have The Bonesmith by Nikki Valpredo. I love this edition of this book. On the back it says, ready your blade, defeat the undead. It just looks like it's going to be incredible. It's giving me Gideon the Ninth vibes. I think yeah, it says Gideon the Ninth meets Game of Thrones. Yeah, okay, sounds good. It is a Fairy Loot adult book edition, so I'm excited to get to that one. Up next, we have The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. This doesn't really look like my type of vibe. It's giving folklore fairy tale retellings, but I'm excited to give it a go nonetheless. I do love the art in here, though. I will say that. It is a retelling. On the top, it says Once Upon a Time, so there you go. A spellbinding new fantasy from #1 New York Times bestseller author Catherine Purdy, where fairy tale comes to life in a dark and deadly twist. Okay, interesting. The back says, tell me again, Grandmere, the story of how I died. Ooh, Ooh, maybe I will pick that up. Then we have The Son of Blood and Ruin by Marley Lars. Again, do I know what it's about? No. Does it look gorgeous? Yes. On the back it says, what is this I hear about a masked vigilante who calls herself Pantera? They say she's the first swordsman in the New World, and she is a witch, that she will be the end of us all. Interesting. Again, very beautiful, but we'll see when it is I get to it. Up next, we have a pre-order, To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. I believe this is a YA fantasy. It says, in a world of darkness becomes the nightmare. It is beautiful. It is an Entangled press, but it came like a first edition printing with purple spray edges. So I did pre-order this one. I'm excited to give it a go. Hopefully I love it. Up next, we have A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. This is an Owlcrate edition. I can't remember if I already hauled this one, but I did want to show it off. It is gorgeous. Gotta love a good naked book that looks like that. I have heard really good things about this one, actually, and it's on my fall TBRs. I mean, my winter TBR, so hopefully I can get to it soon. I don't know too much about it, but I'm hoping I like it. I believe this is my most recent Owlcrate, and that is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. The back says, I should be scared. There are stories about Starling House, the kind people only tell at night, half whispered under the hum of a porch light. But in the dream, I don't hesitate. In the dream, I'm home. Interesting. This one is really pretty. It has like a clear dust jacket on it, and it's beautiful underneath. So I do own the audiobook for this one, so I'm excited to give this one a go. Hopefully I like it. Stunning stenciled spray edges. So if I can get to more special editions next year, that would be great. All right, we're getting there, friends. We have The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. Again, stunning. I feel like the stenciled edges this year have really just popped off. The back says, the Night Empire casts a long shadow over the land. Nothing can stand in the way of its might and power. Year by year, the hurricane wars take, and yet there is hope in the darkness. One lone light stands against the empire. Interesting. I've heard mixed reviews about this one, so I'm excited to see what I think of it, but I'm a little wary. The Owlcrate edition that I got recently is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. The back says, The Nile Knows Everything. This is, again, not really something that I would tend to pick up, but it's so pretty that I want to give it a go. Again, those edges are just gorgeous, and it's beautiful underneath. So beautiful underneath. So I'm excited to see what this is all about. I believe it is mythology inspired, so we shall see. All right, second to last before I talk about this next two in tandem, this is my most recent fairy loot, I think, and that is The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. I'm intrigued. Again, I don't know anything about it, but it's beautiful, and I want to read it eventually. The back says, there is no good without evil. Interesting. I believe this is the author of Keeper of Night, and I heard mixed reviews about that one, but I haven't heard anything about this one yet, so I'm curious to see what I think. Hopefully I like it. The cover's giving a lot, so we'll see. I pulled this aside to talk about it with the other Study in Drowning, but then I forgot about it. But I did get an Owlcrate edition of A Study in Drowning as well. It is very pretty, but just very different. I love the original cover of this book, and that's what is on the naked hardcover, and I just think it's gorgeous, so I wanted to show that off. All right, officially, the last two books I want to talk about is Lore Olympus Volume 4 and 5. These are the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of these books. I get the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions every time because I think they're stunning, and I think that they totally outdo the original editions every single time, and they're just so pretty. I have only read up to Volume 3, so I definitely need to read 4 and 5, but I will get to them eventually at some point, maybe never. Who knows? Okay, 40 minutes later, that is my entire book haul. Oh my god. Either I need to stop, which probably won't ever happen, or I need to do frequent book hauls so they're not, 500 books long. But let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you've recently added to your TBR in the last couple of months, and any ones that you're really excited to get to. If you made it to the end and you don't want to comment anything in particular, go ahead and leave the book stack emoji for all of the stacks that are currently surrounding me. But that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Baby, turn it down.